Alright, so you've got this nice key guard that you've just designed, and how do you know whether it fits the application that it's based on? How well do you know whether the measurements you took will actually line up well? And that can be difficult to do if you don't have direct access to the tablet where this key guard will fit. You don't have access to that tablet running the application. Say all you had was a screenshot to get started with. Well, there is something you can do, and that is what we'll do here. Let me get this back in the screen a little bit. In fact, I'll just close down the console window there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this key guard from directly above. That's this icon down here. And then I'm also going to look at it without all the extra perspective. So now it's just a nice flat key guard. And remember, under special actions and info, I can trim this key guard to the dimensions of the screen itself rather than to the opening in the case, because we don't have access to the case, but our screenshot is the size of the screen, or at least pixel wise it's the same size as the screen. So let's go ahead and trim this. So now this image is trimmed to the size of the screen, and I can save this right here, File, Save As. That's not what I meant, save, I'm sorry. Well, there's two things I can do. I can do I can either do a screen capture here and then trim it down to just the key guard. Let's do that. I'll do a Alt print screen. That gives me just this application. And now I'm going to go over to Microsoft PowerPoint, and I've put my screenshot in here. I'm going to now paste that picture of the application into a PowerPoint slide. And then I'm going to, let me bring my ribbon down. Then I'm going to crop it so that it includes just the key guard. And this is the one of the parts where you have to be really accurate. I may get it close and then zoom in. So start by just getting it close. And now we'll do a view, zoom. Let's go to like 200%. Yeah, maybe that's too big. At least zoom to 100%. And again, we will crop it. We're trying to get right up against the edge of the key guard. Best you can. And if sometimes you hold down the Alt key, you get a little bit more flexibility in how the cursor moves. I'm going to have to zoom in on that one because I can't see it very well. Actually, that's pretty close. What we got over here? Not bad. This side, also not bad. All right, so now that I've done my my trimming, let's go back here and look at our screenshot. So when this came into, let's make it fit a little easier. When I pasted this into PowerPoint, what I did was I set its size to 15 centimeters, and with lock aspect ratio still checked, that automatically made the width 20 centimeters, because there's always a, what is it, 3 to 4 ratio or 4 to 3 ratio between height and width of these screenshots. And in fact, the screens of iPads are all very, very close to that ratio. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to my keyguard and set its size also to 15. Let's see how well I crop this. 19.82 is not exactly 20, but what we'll do is we will take this off and we'll go ahead and set to 20. So there's our keyguard. It should have the same dimensions as the screenshot. We'll copy it. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do. We'll see if I can still do it. So I wanted to remove the background so I can see through it. And I may need to do this again. We'll see. Nope, it's going to work. Okay, so I wanted to clear out all these holes so I could see through them. So we'll keep those changes. And now when I copy and paste my keyguard in here, I'll be able to see through the holes. So I did a remove background there to do that. And sometimes you have to make sure, as I did, that the size of that little rectangle includes the entire keyguard. Then it will see the background as background and not try to treat part of the keyguard as background. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use the line functions within PowerPoint to align these two. I'll align them, their centers, and then I'll align their middles. So now I can see, if I were to put that keyguard on the application, this is about what it would look like. Now, there's a little bit of slop here because some of it depends on how well I trimmed it. Some of it depends on whether the actual aspect ratio of the screen on a particular iPad is 3 to 4, 4 to 3, whatever, or not. But I can see here that I'm really close, and I've got all the elements that I wanted to have in my keyguard. And if you go and look at the other video where we compared the first couple of layers, it looks a lot like this. So these two methods work pretty well. In one case, you've got something really official because it came off the 3D printer, and it includes information like how well does it fit the case opening. But if you don't have access to the case, if you don't have access to the particular iPad or the app, and all you have is a screenshot, and that's what you've been dealing with all along, well, this is a way to sort of test your keyguard just using the screenshot you started with.